Hello everyone, I'm going to talk about VEXI Villages, a mobile game that people aren't sure how to play, but I'm sure will start getting some popularity now that it will include a play to earn system in the form of monthly competitions. So I'm going to talk about how to play this game, everything that I know about it, even though I'm not an expert, I don't really play this game that much, and what we know about the monthly competitions as well as the rewards. This game is available on your mobile device, so you can download it for Apple or Android. Just search up VEXI Villages on the App Store or Play Store. If you do want to play this on PC, you will have to use an emulator like BlueStacks, which is what I'm using for this video. Just a disclaimer though, there are a lot of visual glitches when you're playing it on BlueStacks as far as I've noticed. So sometimes you'll notice everything kind of glitch out. I've not seen these issues when I play this on mobile. This is just happening on BlueStacks, so just be warned, some parts might not look too pretty. And now zoom in on things that I'm explaining throughout the video so you can see them better. Whenever you log into VEXI Villages, you should connect to your Gala account. That way you have access to any VEXI Villages NFTs that you may have, as well as qualify for Gala rewards from the competitions that happen. So I'm going to be explaining how to play first, and then I'll explain how the competitions work. So I believe the first time you get on here, you will see a tutorial explaining how to play. I'm not getting that to pop up anymore, but usually when you get on, you will be on the city block section first. I'm first going to explain the world section, since this was originally where you start off with, and this is going to be one of the main ways to collect resources that you need to do just about anything else. When you begin playing the game, you will start with 1 common land and 3 proto-VEXI. Proto-VEXI are basically your workers that you will use for a lot of functions in the game. To go to your land, you can either click on the land right here, or you can go to manage right here, and you'll be able to see the list of lands at the top right here, and you'll be able to cycle between them if you have multiple lands. For each land, you'll be able to see how many resources it produces per day and how many workers it can fit. A common land can fit 3 workers, whereas higher rarity lands like an epic, for example, can fit up to 6 workers. The first thing you should do is assign one of your workers to your land. You can click on an empty spot right here and then select one worker that is not busy. You can tell because it has the Z's right here, like the sleeping symbol. Then you'll click on it, you'll be able to see their stats and equipment if they have any. More than likely it'll have all level 1s if you've never used it, if you're brand new, right? And you're going to want to click on add to frontier at the bottom right here, and there it has successfully added the worker to the land. So every 30 minutes that worker will collect resources, and I believe it caps out at 24 hours, so you don't have to collect it every 30 minutes. You can just come back to 24 hours later and then collect the entire haul of resources. And once the worker is full of resources, you'll see this red exclamation mark and the bar will be completely full. At that point, you want to click on the worker and you'll be able to see the resources it collected at the very top, or you can just click collect at the bottom right here and it will collect all those resources for you. You can see the experience gained and the resources gained right there, and once you're done, you just click anywhere on the screen and then it will refresh the countdown, as you can see right here. So if you have multiple workers, and you can do that for each one and just collect the resources, you will have to manually click on each one and sit through the animation. I don't believe there's a way for a collect all right now or a way to skip the animations. You can try clicking on it faster, but I don't think it really speeds things up any faster than this. So pretty much every day you're going to want to collect resources like this, because the resources are essential to do other things. Now if you do have a land NFT in your Gala inventory, you can click one of these plus signs for the empty spots and then click add at the bottom over here and select the NFT that you want to add. So I have multiple epic plains biomes here, and then you just want to click confirm at the bottom and it will have successfully added it. It seems like you'll be able to have 3 parcels of land at the start, but then as you level up, you'll be able to unlock additional spots going up to 5 currently. And now you'll be able to see your other parcel of land over here. Now I'm going to explain the Voyages section. This is very similar but provides more experience and resources and even different resources. So you're going to want to click on Voyages. This part's a little bit louder. I'm not really messing with the audio, so I apologize for that. And you'll be able to see that I have a box here. It could also be a proto-VEXI that you start with, but I have one in my box here in the Voyages. It shows how much experience and bits it gains per hour, and this whole process takes 24 hours. I believe you can claim before that though, and once the entire expedition here is done, you collect all these resources. You see I even collected aluminum block, I believe, or like a special type of resource, and it's the same thing. You go through the animation, and once you're done with that, you do want to start it again. And I believe as you level up, you will unlock different biomes, which will give you different types of resources, and there are also opportunities to gain more voyage slots up here. I believe you only start with one, and I suppose you gain the other two as you level up, but I'm not completely sure. So once you collect this, you pretty much want to start it up right away. You always do want to be doing these. I believe these are more important to do than the land that you use, and you can also see like random text here. It's just kind of like a role play scenario. So this explains the world. Next, I'm going to explain the crafting, which is the option all the way to the right. But whenever you start off here, you will have access to one crafting table, and eventually as you level up, you'll be able to gain more crafting tables. So you're going to want to click on your first crafting table right here, and you'll be able to see the items or materials and equipment that you can craft right here. In order to craft the metal construction block, it's going to require 100 metal and 1 iso cube fragments. The iso cube fragments is also a special resource you get from the voyages, from my understanding. Now the wearables will or should be giving you some kind of buffs that you can equip to your workers. I've not messed with this myself, but you could craft these. The craft times are kind of high at 8 hours, whereas the materials right here that you can use to build up your buildings don't take that long. Most of them take 30 seconds. Some of these take 30 minutes, as you can see over here. And then there's the idols. These are going to be important to level up your account. You can see the first one, which is the chicken figurine, will require 500 wood, 125 metal, 150 stone, and 1 gray printer filament, which I believe the only way to get the filament are to purchase them from the shop, which I'll explain next. And in order to level up to level 2, you will have to get these resources and build this, and then I believe the level after you build another one which requires more resources. There's also a way to level up these crafting stations, but I believe your account also has to be a higher level. Now in order to check your account level, we can go back to the city block section, and at the top left right here you can see your accounts. It says you're level 1. You can click on the up arrow next to it and it will show you the current progression ladder. So it currently goes up to level 10. I'm sure they'll raise this later, and in order to reach level 2, I believe it says you need 500 bits and that 1 chicken statue that you craft in the crafting section, and I believe it says what you unlock right here, so it gives you 1 additional printing station for the crafting section. And on here you can also change your profile picture from the 12 that are available here, as well as you'll be able to view your achievements right here and mess with other settings using this button right here. Next, I'm going to explain the store section. Let me start by explaining the 2 currencies you see at the top. These yellow looking coins are bits, and these blue looking memory chips are bytes. Bits are your soft currency for the game, like cash is in Townstar. Bytes are your premium currency for the game, like gems will eventually be for Townstar, just to give you a reference in case you do play Townstar. So in the store, you can either collect bits or spend them, and right here at the very top you'll get a section that says sell your stuff. You'll be able to sell some resources for bits. Every day you should get a rare offer like this where you can sell 100 of a certain material and get 500 bits, which I believe is the best option, and it always beats out the common offers. So this should be a good way to get bits if you do happen to need them. Next, we have the daily deals. Every single day you can get 20 free bytes just from clicking this. This is something you absolutely should be doing. So it encourages you to log in every single day just to claim this reward because it's free premium currency. Now from here you can also get access to certain filaments at a discount. So right here it'll allow me to buy this at a 25% discount if I wanted to. And below that you'll see the item catalog. You'll get access to the full store, but of course everything will be at regular price, as you can see right here, and you can cycle between these. Well, you can see everything from here. The filaments are the required items for some of the crafting recipes, and it seems like you can also buy blueprints to craft different equipment for your VEXI or Proto VEXI. Below the item catalog, we have the land chest. I believe this allows you to spend bytes to get a common land. I don't think it will be an NFT. It will just be another in-game common land. I don't recommend doing this because, well, first of all, I don't know how many bytes it costs, but if you really do want more land, unfortunately as it is, you're probably better off spending like $2 trying to get a rare land from NFT Harbor rather than spending your bytes to do this. But if you want to be completely free to play and do this without spending any money, then this is the only way you're going to be able to get additional lands, even though they will all be seemingly common lands. And at the very bottom, you have the option to spend your bytes in order to get bits. Next, I'll explain the inventory. Here you'll be able to see all the resources you have collected and all your lands, which are called frontiers, and all your items, including any NFT costumes you may have. So I do have this fairy costume. I'll figure out how to equip it right here on the video as I'm explaining it. So right next to the inventory, we have what I would say is the inventory for your Proto VEXI and your VEXI. Proto VEXI are just like the robots that you see right here. Like I said, you start with 3. I believe you get an additional one depending on what type of costume you get. So that fairy costume gives me an additional Proto VEXI as well. Now the VEXI are the standard box from the Townstar, Mirandus, the Walking Dead Empires, or Trolls collection sets, right? So there's a lot of them out there and they're all unique and they all have a different rarity depending on how rare they are. So you can see I have one that's common, one that's uncommon, and one that is rare. I believe the higher rarity your Proto VEXI or VEXI are, the more resources and experience they will gain. Now in order to equip something on your VEXI or Proto VEXI, you just want to click on it. There is one difference from what I can tell right now. So I'll click on this Proto VEXI right here. This very first slot allows you to equip a costume on your Proto VEXI and only your Proto VEXI, not your VEXI. They are two different things. Hopefully I don't confuse people here. But on your Proto VEXI, you will be allowed to click that first option and equip them with an outfit that you may have collected. So you can see now that they have the outfit and they should now get access to better stats or better progression or more XP or something. It should give them some kind of benefit. I'm not completely sure, to be honest. And you'll be able to see the other equipment slots for the ring, the bracelet, and the necklace. Now for your VEXI, it's a little bit different, and I don't believe this has been implemented yet, but instead of applying a costume to them, you would apply a soul. These VEXI soul things came out what seems like a long time ago. They had sold these. There's like 12 different souls. It doesn't seem like it's currently possible to equip them, but that should be coming in the future. It might also be because I have them on Ethereum chain. Maybe it only works on Gala chain. I'm not completely sure, to be honest. Oh, and on your VEXI and your Proto VEXI, I believe you can change the name for each one as you see fit. And each stat does something different here. I believe the bonuses that it provides at the very start are like negligible, like you'll barely notice any difference, but there are clearly some benefits to the levels here. And the last thing I should explain are the city blocks, but before I do that, I need to go to the world, claim one of my workers back. I'm not going to get resources for removing him here, but that's fine. I do need that worker to show you some of the stuff you could do at city blocks. So this is, I believe, the main way to play the game, and this is the important part for the competition after you've collected resources and crafted things that you need to build buildings here. When you first start off, all of this will be empty, like you'll have to build your own buildings or place down your own NFTs if you happen to own any. So you want to click on an empty slot right here. You'll be able to click on build, and then it'll show you the different things that you can build here. I currently built a city diner. You can only have one of each building, by the way. And as you can see right here, it'll show you the requirements to build each thing. So this will require 50 bits and 1 metal block or aluminum block or whatever. Same thing for the sushi restaurant right here. Some of these will require a higher level, and I'm pretty sure there's more buildings than this, but you need an even higher level for them to show up. And there's 3 sections, as you can see at the top. There is business, arts and culture, and services. So business, I believe, are the buildings that actually actually produce items that will make your visitors happy. Arts and culture and services, I believe both just increase your appeal. Appeal is the stars that you see at the very top. This will impact the amount of visitors that you gain. So the more appeal, the more visitors that you should be gaining. By default, at 0 appeal, you should be only gaining 2 visitors every 2 hours. So once you decide what you want to build here, you should go to the crafting area and craft that material. So for example, I want to build the convenience store. I will need one of these blocks. So I'm going to go to the crafting area right here, click on this and build, I believe it was the metal construction block right here. I need to assign a worker, which I can do by clicking this thing at the top right here and assigning my proto-VEXI, add to station. Okay, and now it lets me click on next at the bottom and it'll say it takes 30 seconds. That's fine. Now you can also speed up these timers using your premium currency, your bytes. As you can see right here, this would cost 1 to speed up. I'm not going to do that, but that's just another way to speed things up if you want to pay for that. And once it's done, you can click collect and here it is. Before I go to city blocks, I do want to remove the worker from the crafting station, which I've done now because I want to use it for something else. So when I build something, as you can see the convenience store right here, it will require a worker. I'm not going to do it yet because once I do that, the worker will be busy for the next 3 hours. So it takes 3 hours to build a big building, and I believe it's the same for the small buildings, although one of them only took me 40 minutes, but from what I heard, some of them take 3 hours. Maybe it depends on the building. It could be less than an hour for some of them, who knows. So I finished building this one last night. It's the city diner. You can have up to 2 workers on it, and I believe you will need to assign workers in order to produce these materials. So if I assign 1 worker to this right here, so I've assigned 1 worker to it, it says I am producing these 3 items. I guess you only need 1 worker to get it to work. I'm not sure what the second worker or proto-VEXI assigned would do. Maybe it increases your revenue or something. I'm not completely sure. You can also click on details to get a few more information here. It seems like I have the worker assigned, and now this is going to fill up and collect resources for me, as you can see right there. And at the bottom over here, I have another small building that I prepared. It only requires 1 worker, but I don't have any more workers for free, available. And this one produces ice cream cones. So yeah, that's the ice cream stand. And this one over here is my NFT hot dog stand. So this one was full on rewards. It had a red exclamation mark at the top letting me know. And my rewards for this are 5 bits and 5 bytes. That's cool that it gives me bytes, premium currency. I think maybe it's only the NFT buildings that give you the premium currency here. So once I collected that, I can look at it right here. I have the 1 worker assigned, and as you can see, this one is producing hot dogs. So any visitors that want hot dogs will be satisfied because of this. And it gives you a general idea of how much revenue it gives you, but this doesn't seem to align with the revenue you actually get. So I'm not sure exactly what this is supposed to imply. So that kind of explains the city blocks. I believe you can get more plots. I'm not sure what the requirements are. Maybe you just have to level up, and each time you level up, you get access to another plot or something. But there definitely is a way to unlock additional plots so you can have more space to build stuff and to run more businesses. Now I'll explain the visitors, which are an important thing to know for the competition aspect of the game. So at the bottom over here, you'll see visitors to the right. You want to click on that and you'll be able to see the amount of visitors you have. So I actually have 3 visitors, even though I have 0 appeal. Usually it's just 2, unless they changed it, but yeah, that's cool. I have 3 visitors and you'll be able to see them in your town once they actually come in. They're not in here yet. These visitors will be arriving in an hour from now, and these are the things they like. So the first visitor likes these chips and maybe coffee. I don't know what that is. Second visitor likes some kind of soda, milkshake, ice cream, popsicles, and the third one does like hot dogs. So you'll visit my hot dog stand, and soda and some kind of mystic water or something. I'm not really sure what that is either. So once this thing hits 0 and the visitors come in, they will be here for maybe like 3 minutes or 5 minutes or something, and you'll just see them walk around. It'll have a bubble over their heads showing you what they want, and I don't think it has to be in order. So like this one will show a hot dog, but like if you're making soda, they'll still go for the soda eventually. They'll just be walking around and enjoying your town. And once they're satisfied, it should start filling up the meters on your buildings. So there are new visitors every 2 hours from what I've noticed. So for the competition, each time you satisfy these visitors, you should get some kind of score. For the leaderboards, the leaderboards should only be available once the competition begins. As of recording this video, it hasn't started. It probably will start by the time I upload this though. And I'll give you some more information once we look over at the blog in a moment. Last thing I want to explain here, I think, is the tanks. If you happen to have any spider tanks NFTs, you can view them from here, but there's really no purpose to doing this at the moment. I believe eventually they might give you some kind of benefit, but yeah, at the moment there's like no reason to look at them. They don't seem to do anything. So hopefully I've explained as much as I could for all of the features in VEXI Villages. Now I'm going to take a look at the blog and explain more about the competition details that we were provided. Here's the blog post they posted with the information for this competition. It says, coming soon, VEXI leaderboards and exclusive Gala rewards. I'm not going to read this whole thing, just some parts of it. It's not that long anyways. So how it works, you join the event on the event menu. This makes me believe that it's maybe another option to get in rather than the main town that you're using right here, but I'm not completely sure. We'll see once the competition begins. And the actions that earn you points are fulfilling the visitor needs, and there will be additional methods coming soon, it says, but for the moment you just fulfill your visitor needs and you'll earn bonus opportunities from using the special buildings that they sell on the Gala game store. Of course, this will have a pay to win aspect, a heavy pay to win aspect, I think, as you'll be competing with people who purchase these building NFTs and a bunch of other NFTs from the Gala game store to help them out. And whenever you do purchase NFT buildings from the Gala game store, you don't always get a guaranteed rarity. It's random. You could get uncommon, rare, epic, legendary. So you are gambling in a way whenever you're doing that. And more than likely, you're going to get the worst rarity, which is uncommon whenever you're doing that, if you decide to do that. Now, the Gala rewards, you can see the structure right now. Top 350 scorers will get Gala, with first place getting 18,000 Gala and 201st to 350th place only getting 50 Gala. And to participate, you log into the game with your Gala account connected. You gain event points from fulfilling your visitors' needs. You climb the leaderboard this way, and Gala prizes will be sent directly to your Gala account once the event finishes. I'm not sure how long it'll take, especially since this is like their first competition for VEXI Villages, right? I know for Townstar it only takes like 3 days usually, or 1 business day. So it could maybe also take only a couple days for this, but yeah, since it's the first competition, they'll probably want to review it, make sure there's no mistakes in their process, and it may take longer. So hopefully I've explained how to properly play the game. It's the process of collecting resources in the world, crafting items using those resources, buying items that you may not be able to craft, like the filaments. If you do craft equipment or collect NFTs, then make sure to equip them on your proto VEXI. As you continue to collect resources and craft things, you will also level them up just by playing the game. And city blocks is your final destination here, where you spend your resources to build buildings, and that will also help you collect resources in another way. Now I'm going to share some final thoughts here. If you're starting out and you're free to play, you're only going to have 3 workers. It's going to be very limited to what you can do, since you can only assign 3 workers to buildings here, so you're not going to be able to even fulfill a lot of the requirements that you need to fulfill to compete in these events. So I would not expect to earn any Gala from this unless you already have NFTs. Unlike Townstar, which there is a way for you to earn Gala with no NFTs, you just need skill and patience. This, I'm seeing that you will probably, more than likely, absolutely need NFTs in order to compete well enough with other players to earn Gala. I could be wrong, you know, since this is the first competition, we don't really know, but with the limit of only having 3 workers and a common land, right, and no other stuff to help you out, it seems very difficult for people to actually collect the points that you need to compete with people that have tons of NFTs that will give them the edge in the competitions. And another thing that the blog said is that it's a monthly Gala reward, so I believe these competitions are only going to run once a month. This first competition starts the day I'm posting this video on May May 22nd and it's going to end on May 29th. I believe it starts at 2 p.m. Pacific time and it'll end on May 29th, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Now this game is much more casual to play than say Townstar, so you can easily play this on your phone. You don't really have to spend a lot of time on it. I don't think the competitions should really take up much of your time if you actually have everything that you need to build all the correct buildings to fulfill the needs. Now, however, saying that, if you want to play this strategically, you probably want to get on here every 2 hours, look at what the next visitors want, reassign your workers so you fulfill those wants or needs, as they say, and then you'll be able to collect more points and then come back 2 hours later, look at their needs, reassign your workers, fulfill those needs, etc. This, if you're doing this is probably the best way to get points and compete in the game, so there's that. But you have to be getting on every 2 hours for a duration of 7 days, which, you know, the competition, it's going to be 7 days long. That's actually a lot of work and not something I would like to do personally. I'm just saying, if you don't have a lot of workers, that's probably going to be your only option, assuming you also have all the buildings that you need built. And if you don't have a building built already, by the time you see this, it's probably too late to build the respective building unless you have the NFC version of it, because as I said, some of these buildings take 3 hours, maybe some of them take 40 minutes or an hour, like the small ones. But yeah, it'll take a while to build stuff. It won't come in time for the visitors that are coming next that you can see right here. All right, so I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's probably going to be pretty long, but I think I did the best job I could at explaining everything that I know to play this game. So hopefully you understand how to actually play now and somewhat have an idea to compete. I won't get a better idea on how to actually compete in these things until the competition starts, and then I can take another look at it. I did create a VEXI Villages channel on my Discord in case anybody wants to talk about the game there and post screenshots or ask questions or whatnot. But that's gonna be it. So I hope you enjoyed this video and this guide. Let me know in the comments if you plan to play VEXI Villages or it's not your thing. I find Townstar to be more fun and more challenging, though the challenge of doing this every 2 hours, that seems pretty insane once you think about it, if you want to do that. But you know, everybody has their game that they enjoy the most, and if this is your game, then that's cool, that's awesome. So yeah, that's everything. So, you know, leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. I mostly cover Townstar content. If I see the need to, I might make another VEXI Villages video, but it's mostly Townstar. And you can help support the channel by checking out the links in the description. As always, I appreciate your support and thank you for watching.